Oh no, I think we got big problems in one of these heads. All that smoke coming out, I have no idea what's going on, but something's gone down.
Going on YouTube, we're out here in the cotton field. So basically, I don't know what time it is. It is 11 o'clock and we just now got started. We had some problems with some sensors on the cotton picker, and we also had to get that loaded up with crap. And now I got told that my bales that I perfectly lined up are got to be moved over there. So that's a kind of bummer, but hopefully that cotton picker does not get choked up, because I hate just having to dump all that cotton out. It feels like a waste too. And then you got all that cotton sitting on the ground. You can see it over there. We picked up most of it yesterday, but we got Grandpa out there on the bush hog, we got Andy out there on the crap spreader, and we got me on the, I guess, picker upper. I don't know what you want to call this. And I got also running back and forth, loading Andy up with chicken crap and whatnot, but it should be a good day. Hopefully that, please don't tell me he's...
Hey Andy, come climb up on this header again. This thing's still throwing codes.
Can't even get started.
All right, that 6-inch thick picker Bible that I got came in handy. I told you yesterday about the sensor on number 5 going off and could not figure out nothing was making contact or anything. Anyway, brought it out here this morning, did some diagnosing and everything. Still couldn't figure it out. Started picking, started throwing that alarm again. Anyway, we went to the header interface control module, diagnostic address number 60, and it was showing a number 1 on this 5th. That means that the sensor on the number 5 unit was reading. And anyway, got down there, moving things around, trying to figure out what was making contact, and come to find out that door, the suction door, was just barely starting to make contact with the vibration with the head of where the sensor wire plugs in. So it was grounding out through there, through the duct door. Never seen that happen before. So anyway, we put some tape over the top of that bolt head to you know, keep it from making contact, and hopefully all of my unnecessary annoying alarms are done.
All right, so I got 3 bales moved over there. I still got to move these 3. Let me try to film and do this at the same time. No, that's simple. That's it. One of these bales up here this morning weighed, I think, 5,400 pounds, something like that. So, I mean, it's not doing what we thought, I guess. Should do it. I feel like these are a little cockeyed.
Now we got one of my cornfields across the road, and look how absolute green it is. Now the average person driving down the road probably think, oh, Matt Griggs, he don't know how to set his combine. Look at all that corn coming up out there. No wonder he ain't making any money. He blew it all out the back of his combine. There is some volunteer corn out there, but the vast majority of what you see out there is cover crop. Well, 4 inches of rain we've had on it, it's really taking off and growing and looking good. And anyway, whenever we do finally get to that first frost, which hopefully won't be very, very far away, it'll get all that corn killed out, and then we'll see what kind of job I actually did setting my combine. But you know, when it comes to volunteer corn out there, you know, when you think about what we're actually planting seed-wise, you know, we're planting, you know, myself, I'm planting, you know, 25 to 30,000 seeds per acre. And, you know, the standard 1 bushel per acre loss coming out the combine, or a little less, is something like 2 to 3 times the amount of seed that we actually plant to get a crop. So my point being that it doesn't take very much seed coming out the back of the combine to look like you've got some terrible losses out there. You know, just like I've had commenters tell me, you know, year after year when we're picking cotton, man, it sure does look like that cotton picker's leaving a whole lot on the stalk. You know, looking at that 6 rows right there that I've already picked, I mean, it looks like that there's quite a bit of cotton left. You got to think that after the pickers run through it, the locks that in the bowl, instead of being compacted in the bowl, I mean, it's strung out and it looks a whole lot worse than what it actually is. And then you look at the ground out there, there's not a whole lot of white on the ground. I mean, the picker's getting probably 98.5% to 99% of the cotton that's out here. Now I could, you know, come back through and pick this cotton again a second time, which, I mean, that's what we used to do, you know, back when I was a kid and growing up, and defoliants were so expensive. You know, we'd let the cotton get about 75% open, and then we'd start picking cotton without defoliating or anything. Be a bunch of leaves and stuff on there, still a bunch of bowls that hadn't opened. We'd pick it the first time, and then after we picked everything the first time, we would turn right back around and do what we called a scrapping pass. We would pick it again in a higher gear to get, you know, the remaining, you know, the cotton that was left from the first picking, plus, you know, bowls that had opened up since we had picked the first time. And a lot of times when you run the cotton picker through there in an unopened bowl, it'll jostle that bowl around enough that it will kind of crack the bowl at the sutures between the locks and would cause it to go ahead and open. And we do a, you know, a second pick and a scrapping pass to get the remaining cotton that's left out there. But since our cotton defoliants have gotten cheaper and better, as much as it costs to run these cotton pickers across the land, there would be very, very, very few cases to where you could justify it economically to run the cotton picker back over the ground the second time, because these machines cost so much to run. Now, back in the day when we had like a 9910 and a 9930 2-row cotton picker, you know, those machines didn't cost as much to run. But these 6-row module pickers, or heck, even the 6-row basket pickers, I mean, they just cost so much to run. If you don't get it all the first time, you're not going to get your money back trying to go back and get it a second time. Well, we finally got done with that half of the farm, and we're on the part of the farm that used to be in pasture ground for so many years, and yields are definitely picking up. The cotton looks a lot better, definitely a lot taller, and like right here, I mean, it's okay. I mean, we're talking about 800-900 pound cotton, but then once we go down through this swell, you see how much wider it gets right there. I mean, we're dealing with the kind of yields right there that I was shooting for all year long. Look at that cotton right there. Look how thick it is. I mean, we're dealing with 14 to 1600 pounds. I mean, look, that stuff is loaded up. That's what I want all my crop to look like.
I don't really need to load it on that side where the service truck's at. I can go right up this way.
Generally, the cotton on this side, it's significantly better than it was over there. The cotton is taller and definitely got quite a few more moles on there. All right, we just got done with this farm. It's about 7:30. We got about a 3/4 size module on the back we carrying up there to the front, and The south side of the farm was a little bit better than the north side. I don't know, maybe 75 to 100 pounds. Monitor showing an average of 705 pounds, but I forgot I didn't have my swath control on, and it over recorded my acreage by a good 2 acres. So according to my calculations, if there's 4 bales in each module, which there's not, it might be more, it might be less. If there's 4 bales in each module, we did a total of 22 3/4 modules. That comes out to an average yield of 721 pounds an acre, which I don't really know what my expectations were for this farm, but if you told me before we started picking it average 721 pounds, I'd said, well, that sounds probably about right. I was hoping for a little more, but definitely not surprised with that result. So we're gonna get the picker broke down and get it into the shop, because shop's on the way to the next farm. That way we ain't got to haul a ton of fuel out here tomorrow, and we'll be back out here tomorrow. And I think the next farm, I think it's going to be at least a little bit better than what this farm is. Hopefully yields pick up a little bit. So we'll see you back out here in the morning. Well, for the last 2 years we've been running this baler picker, y'all seen us use yellow wrap. Y'all saw us use pink wrap last year. You can tell we got a roll of yellow wrap on there now, which is left over from the very first year that we bought some wrap. And anyway, both of those wraps are made by Tama, which I think is owned by John Deere. Anyway, it's really the highest quality wrap out there. It's the original wrap. I have very few problems out of it, and the reason I went with it over some aftermarket brands is because while I was learning this baler picker, there was enough stuff to learn about it, and I didn't want the wrap to be one of the problems that I'd have to work through. Well, now after 2 years of running this picker, you know, I feel confident enough in my abilities to figure out what problems are or whatever. I figured it's time to start saving some money on some cotton picker wrap, because this Tama wrap is very expensive. It's cheaper now than it was 2 years ago when I originally bought it. But I want to say each one of those rolls, which has 24 module wraps in it, is I think when I priced it this year, it was well over $800 per roll. Well, after asking a lot of my neighbors what they recommended for a cheaper brand of wrap, this right here is what they recommended me, Baling Green. And just recently this winter, it got approved by the National Cotton Council. And several of my close friends that I really trust their opinion said that they ran it last year, had absolutely no problems out of it. It fed great, didn't have any problems with miswraps or whatever. And the best thing about it, it's good wrap, but it also comes at a very good price point. It's about $600 for each one of these rolls that's in here. So, you know, it's about 75% of the cost or so of what the Tama wrap is. And in a year when we don't have good yields, we don't have good prices, we're trying to save every penny that we can get, we're going to go with this wrap this year. Now, I don't know if this will be enough to finish up the rest of our cotton crop. We've got another pallet of Tama there inside the gin that we bought last year, yellow wrap. And what we're doing is we're saving that in case we run into any cold weather. Generally, that's where you find the problems with aftermarket brands of wrap, is when the weather gets cold, the plastic gets harder, doesn't stretch as good, you have more problems with it feeding in colder weather. So we're going to save the Tama wrap for last in case we do run into any cold weather, and we're going to use this right now and get a good feel for it. All right, that's good. All right, Andy, you remember how to do this? The left side is, yeah. Hey, 1, 2, 3. Kelly, get the remote. Get the remote.
What do I need to press?
Hit the C. Hit it.
Huh?
Hit it.
Hit it.
Hit B. Oh, yeah, hit B. Hold that. day. All right, D. Ready? All right. Oh. Carter, help him. All right, hit it. We got 3 rolls of green, Baling Green wrap loaded up there. I think we got 11 more wraps on the yellow, then we'll be spitting out some green modules. All right, we made it over here to Ferguson, and while we're getting the heads warmed up, going to talk a little bit about this cotton. I think this is going to be some pretty decent cotton over here. You know, only second year spending crop after being in pasture forever, and I'm excited to get over here, not only because I think the cotton's going to be better, but this ground's going to be a whole lot smoother because we plowed it up good this spring. And after coming off that Williams farm, I mean, it's up and down. I mean, my header's just constantly working and rocking the picker, and can't go full speed over there just because of how hilly it is. And I'm excited to be over here. It ought to be a whole lot smoother riding. But if you look out through there, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there's definitely a tinge of green down through there. Now we defoliated it. We did a 2-pass program, but that tinge of green you see out there is regrowth from the cotton after we defoliated it. Now, when we defoliated, just like we do every year, we did include 3 different ingredients to help, you know, prevent that regrowth. However, after the extreme drought this year, we knew once we ever got some rain that we were going to have issues with regrowth. But in our defoliant, on the first shot, we included a generic drop, which is thiazuron, and then we also included finish, and both of those have components that help, you know, control regrowth. And then we came back on the second shot, we came back with ETX, which it's supposed to kill regrowth and help prevent it, but as dry as it was for so long, as soon as that cotton got some moisture, I mean, there's no stopping it. You know, we got almost our full complement of nitrogen from our side dress application still in the soil. The cotton's picking that up. You know, we had just enough rain after we applied the nitrogen that it was enough to get it into the soil, but you know, it quickly became unavailable because there was no moisture in the soil. So, you know, we got a full, you know, probably close to 30 pounds of nitrogen in the soil that the cotton plant is picking up, and there ain't no slowing it down. So we need to get this cotton out as quickly as possible, so before the regrowth does get bad, because those tender green leaves, you can imagine, they got all that chlorophyll in them. It can actually stain the cotton with green as it's going through the header. You know, all those spindles damaging the leaves, it can stain the lint. And then if the lint stain, we're going to have lower grade. We already don't have a grade price for cotton, and then if we get hit for bad color on our grades, it's just going to make the pain that much worse on this year's cotton crop. But right now, the most of the regrowth is at the base of the stalk, whereas, you know, the length's going to be, you know, halfway and at the top of the stalk. So really not going to be a big concern on grades right now, but where you see that greenish tinge out there, that's where it's starting to put out at the top of the plant, and that's really what we're concerned about. you can see that regrowth real good right there. That patch that patch is especially bad with regrowth, and last thing we want to do is for our entire field to look like that. We're definitely going to have some issues if that happens. In other news, got a college football Saturday again, and this year we actually switched from Hulu to YouTube TV just cause I got fed up with Hulu and stuff. And the one thing I love about YouTube TV is it's got that multi-view channel. So right now I'm keeping an eye on 4 different games going on. Hulu didn't have that option. And like if I see something interesting, I can click on the screen and go to audio of that particular game. So in the hours preceding my Vols playing, I love being able to keep up with multiple teams at once and seeing multiple games going on rather than having to flip back and forth. Oh no, I think we got big problems in one of these heads. All that smoke coming out, I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on, but something's gone down. I don't know, I think I may have a bearing out in my doffer column there. I mean, that gear is hot. You can tell it ain't got no grease on it because it's all burnt off. Yeah, all that other stuff is fine. I think that's what's gone wrong. I got a top bearing out in my doffer column there. I can see that top gear there on my doffer collar I can see that top gear on my doffer column wobbling. Well, not a great problem, but it could be a whole lot worse. It could be in the actual head itself. Hey Michael, have y'all already gone home for the day?
No, I have not. I'm still here.
Can you look up and see if y'all got a part number in stock for me?
Yeah.
Part number is JD9467.
I got 2 of them here.
Alright, have y'all got someplace you can leave it outside?
Yeah, I've got that little box by the front door. I can put it in a bag and put it in there.
Thank you, man. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
I need you to run by John Deere in Jackson. They're leaving a bearing in a box beside the front door for us.
That's hilarious because I'm at Latham's right now getting everybody meat. So that works out perfectly.
All right, great, thanks.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right, we just got lucky. One of my contacts had not left to go home for the day yet, and he called me back. They've got the part that we need, the bearing, in stock in Jackson, and Kelly was already in Jackson, real close by there, so we'll hopefully have a parts delivery here before I get the thing even pulled apart. So looks like everything might just work out, as long as that's the only problem we got. Carter, bring the camera over here.
Yeah, it was out in the middle. We weren't using it. Had a little house, a shack.
Ooh.
What was it? What kind of tower was it?
Carter, will you come over here and get a shot of pulling it out?
I'm on video.
No, you're not. You're.
Holding the camera on you.
Oh, God dang, this thing's hot. Is there any gloves or anything in the service truck? Or rags, anything? This thing's freaking scorching hot.
On the same spot. 10 minutes.
Of course, the freaking bars in the way. All right, it's out. All right, we just got the bearing off of there, and the bearing's definitely not good. But I don't see how that was making all that smoke getting that high, because it ain't that far gone. So I don't know if we got something else going on or what, but this was, I definitely believe that this was the source of the heat though. So we got a new one. We'll slap her on there and keep our fingers crossed. All right, we got it all put back together, got our gear lubed up, and now we're gonna try spinning it slowly with the tether. Yeah, it looks like that gear's spinning more smoothly, not wobbling it at all there. All right, I'm gonna have Andy spin the heads fast and see what it sounds like. Make sure there ain't no strange noises coming out of it. Like what I'm seeing, it looks like my stack is wobbling out of balance. I think this center shaft might possibly be bent or something. I don't know. I don't know if something got bent in there. It's not wobbling down here, but it's like it's bent right in here. I've got another Doffer stack there at the shop. I think we're gonna try putting it in and see if that fixes it, because I don't want to run that like that and then with it being, you know, wobbling, tearing that new bearing out. All right, we got the old bent stack out and brand new spare stack in. Hope it runs nice and true now. Oh yeah, no wobble at all now. Yeah, I think we're good to go. Yeah, I don't know if that stack got bent and caused the bearing to go out, or vice versa, or what. I think the stack somehow got bent when we took them out to get them ground. I don't know if we dropped it or mishandled it or something, but that shaft got bent somehow, and it just happened to last 60 acres. So we got our spare stack in. I'm trying to get Delta Spindle on the phone so they can bring me another spare stack out and just to have on hand. All right, I think we're ready to go pick some cotton. Well, I think we got our problem fixed. Everything is running smoothly over there on number 6. See Andy up there, he's got the litter buggy loaded up. He started spreading. Grandpa's there on the 4440. It's actually running. Get stalks cut. We got Carter over there on
what are we planting behind cotton? Winter wheat.
Yeah. We got Chatterbox over there on the module mover. This cotton looks better than the last farm, but overall it's about the same. My monitor's showing 680. So some spots is good, and there's a lot of thin spots over here also. Of course, this farm didn't get any moisture either. I kind of hoping maybe the conventional till part might have given us a yield boost by, you know, boosting the microbial activity for this year. But when you ain't got no water, all the microbial activity goes dormant.